I always go outside before I do the workshop and say, Creator, I don't know why you have me here, but empty me of me and fill me with you. It's been part of my healing journey. I didn't know about Canada's history with residential school, and my mom went.
I was very happy to be part of that program, and as part of the Sunshine Coast, our CMP's letter of expectations with the Shíshálh Nation is to train every member in cultural awareness with the Shíshálh Nation. And I think it's really important to go further back and talk about their culture prior to contact, after contact, how residential schools affected not only First Nations in Canada, but especially the Shíshálh Nation, the people that we work with. And I think that's something that really is, I'm passionate to make sure all our members are trained in this.
It's up to us now. We need to understand deeply what happened in history, and then to start consciously breaking the generational cycles that began there.
How do you, in your mind, prevent this sort of action ever happening again, where one group of people is suppressed by another, one is powerless, one has ultimate power? What are your thoughts on that? How do you keep that ever from happening again?
It's through education. It's through programs like this. It's through letting our members know what the history was and learning from history. And I think that's the key, simply, to making sure that this doesn't happen again.
Coachella petit, the quickly, Ewo's can squish. Neatach and swear. Neatach and scumcum. And I want to welcome you all here this morning on this very historical day. As you probably read, or you haven't read yet, that our court case on the residential school is moved forward in a major way. Our other councillor, Gary Feschuk, is busy away working on that. As you know, he signs off on that Supreme Court case, and we asked him to carry on with that. So he's away busy with that. My only other councillor that I have here today is the new councillor, Randy Joe, and he can introduce himself.
Good morning, everybody. Randy Joe. My given name is Mayok, which means grizzly bear. Just like to thank everybody for coming. This is a very important discussion we're going to have here. The Shíshálh Nation has been keeping this story going about the legacy of the residential school. You know, we have some survivors out here, my sisters, my brother, you know, we all been going through it, my cousin Calvin here. It's nice to see everybody here and, you know, listening to our stories to keep this going. You know, it's been a hard fight to keep the story alive, but everybody needs to get educated on this topic. You know, a lot of people come up to me and say, geez, I really never knew that school was like that when they drove by it. But we're all here to do the healing process and all here to accept you guys on our territory here. But it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a healing day. Thanks.
All right, I'm glad we're all in the circle to support one another, and that's what we look for. As a Shíshálh people, we are looking for compassion. We're looking for support, and the Shíshálh people need the healing that could be provided by not only professional people, but just by the community. Generally, culturally, we always start our morning sessions with a prayer, and I'm going to ask my brother Howard to do a song, and it's a special song, and the song was composed by Chief Dan George, and it's a people song. When he composed that song, he asked that song be shared amongst all people, and those were his words exactly. So that's why I love that song, and that's why I'm asking my brother Howard to sing it now. So we can all get up. Great.
Before I begin, I'd like to welcome you all here onto our traditional territory of our people, the Shíshálh Nation. Thank our facilitators. Raise my hands to our chief and our counselor here today that are here present. To the survivors that are here as well, residential school. I'm also a survivor from the school up here. And I see a few of our relatives here as well from the attended residential school as well. And I thank you all for being here today to gain a better understanding of how this, what I call prisons, impacted our people at a young age, our children, and our elders, and our people of our age, our generation. As my brother Jorge said, this is a song I'll share with you today is Chief Dan George from the Shíshálh Nation. It's a Coast Salish anthem that was shared, that's meant to be shared with all Coast Salish people today. So I'd like to sing it for you here today in honor of all of our survivors and our children and our elders today that are present here. Praise Him.
Thank you. Please be seated. Once again, I'm very pleased and very happy that the people from the community came out to support our efforts. It will be much appreciated. It's much appreciated now, but it will be much more appreciated in the future. As you know, we're going to be getting on a road to recovery, and we're going to get on the road with the healing of our community. And we just came back from a week-long retreat with the new council, and then one of the mandates that we made in terms of our strategy is that we're going to focus and make the healing our primary effort amongst the new council. So what that means, of course, is that I had to meet with our financial people yesterday to strike a budget, and that could be very costly. If you know and understand the history of the residential school era, we were affected by 5 generations of our people, so many of our great-grandfathers were affected, and so therefore our grandchildren are affected in terms of the brainwashing that we had experienced. And in my case, I attended not only the St. Augustine's residential school, but at 15 they sent me up to St. Mary's in Mission. And my wife was a similar experience, but she ended up in the one in North Vancouver in her teenage years. So she actually attended 3, and she's still recovering from that tragedy. And we both are survivors of it, and we still deal with the thoughts that are triggered, and those thoughts from our subconscious are still there. So we need to seek healers, we need to seek support in terms of how we're going to overcome that. And that one of the major themes that I know from the survivors that are here today is that we want it to stop and not to go past or even down to our grandchildren. Yeah, so that effort is going to be sprung on our department in the next few days. If how we're going to start building a team of people that are going to come out and support our people. My wife has already started her effort. She's, along with Randy's wife, they're going to start going out to the homes where some of the older people have isolated themselves. So we need those people to come out. We need those older people to come out and let it go, to talk about it. And it's hard to understand at this day and age that the effects of the residential school still exists. And it's even harder for many of our people to understand and recognize that this did actually happen right here in our land. So we've got to educate those people too. Even though they're our own people, they still live in denial. So we've got to help them to come out. And we need to do that because our people, and our young ones especially, need to grow. They need to grow with all the economic development projects that are coming on stream. And I've spoken at a session like this with all of our people and sent the message that before we can progress, we need to understand the package and the baggage that we carry. Those that are things that are inhibiting us from moving forward, and we need to overcome that. So Randy and I are here, and it's our major priority that we need to heal our people. And once again, I'm happy that you're all here today. I'm actually happy to see the RCMP here. Yeah, you know, my mom, our grandfathers used to talk about that. You know, there was 3 major enemies that they hated. One was the RCMP, one was a fishery officer, and the other one was a priest. You know, when our children try to escape, the RCMP assisted by bringing those children back. Yeah, but the relationship has changed dramatically over the years. And I remember when the first sergeant came here from Vancouver, and I was a very young chief, and he came to introduce himself to me. And when I met him at the band office, I looked up to him and he says to me, "I think I know you." And you know, I reacted by saying, "Yeah, I think you used to chase me down the streets of Vancouver." But anyway, we became good friends after that, and the relationship started to improve, and we started to build on that. And I'm very proud that our former leaders took that initiative, and they knew that we would have to develop a relationship with our neighbors to get them to begin to understand who our people were, where they came from, why were they here. So we're going to be starting a whole new program now. We're going to be sharing more information with you. We have a staff of communicators now. Mike Morgan is the head of the communication. We're going to be involved with not only the local news, but the local magazines, newspapers, the radio stations, Coast Cable. We're going to be doing talks and just talking about who we are and where we came from. And Randy doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be on TV pretty soon. And that's something that I'm doing as a leader. I'm delegating a lot of my staff and people to start participating in these things, and understanding that what I got to carry in the next 3 years is probably overwhelming, and I'm going to be doing a lot of delegating. So my three favorite words are going to be delegate, delegate, delegate. But I do, along with the former chief, we do bring a lot of history and experience to the new leadership, and I'm really happy with the team that I have. I'm very happy with the staff that I have, but I see them as underutilized, if not under budget. So we're going to be making those corrections. But as we go forward, we will keep all of you people that are here to support us, we'll keep you informed of how we progress.
I'd like to thank our HAWAS, our councillor, Randy Joe, and our survivor members that are here today. We'd just like to ask some of our members, survivor members, to Valerie, if you wouldn't mind offering your prayer this morning before we get started, and for her sister Audrey to join her, and Willard. I think that there was another song that we wanted to offer before we get going today, and then we'll go from there.
Just going to do a prayer that our elders before us, this generation, taught me. I was lucky enough to be with our elders and learn our language. I was one of the very few that did. And it's called shíshálh. It means walking on the right path, going on the right path. O Tinawel man Patam Saltam Ishmal Mala pronounced Nemos Atin Square two equal. I am at Mayo Fizlato, Punamtomos etim Sotso, O Wissiaya, all my relations.
We'll take our leave, but I'll leave you with a message that although the Shíshálh Band will spearhead this and make that effort to try to put a halt to what's going on, you have to know and understand that our people are the ones that are suffering because of this, because these court cases are costing us millions and millions of dollars. And once again, I'll leave it with you that this is another way, another form of suppression. They're bleeding us, and we can't let that continue. So we will take a lead in this again, and as soon as I can communicate with you on what our efforts are going to be, we'll be back in touch. I know a few of you, the phone numbers for a few of you, and we'll be in touch soon. So I'll leave you to the workshop, and hopefully you'll be able to help one another and help us find a way to heal our people. Shíshálh.
Well, the first part is we're going to build a village together and celebrate the strength of the people that pre-contact. We're going to build a village. We're going to talk about what kept that village together, how we worked together in harmony with one another. And again, that village is based on our values that our people, our ancestors walked with, love, respect, kindness, and generosity in others. Right? Yeah, people are going to share. They're going to talk about how it feels to be in that village pre-contact. So people are going to really get an understanding of the strengths and the gifts in being in an Indigenous village. So that's what's going to happen for the first part. And in the second part, I'm going to talk about the cultural clash that happened so that people will feel what that was like, because we become quite attached to that village, and then to see a colonizer, somebody who doesn't understand that village, come in and take that village apart can be quite painful. I'll give a lot of choices around that. People that shouldn't maybe, or who don't feel like it's a good time for them to re-experience that in their life if they've gone through it already in their life. I'll give a break and they have an opportunity to leave or to witness or whatever they want, because I don't want to re-traumatize anybody that's experienced that. And then the last part is, I'm going to take the culture away, the identity. I'm going to take as the colonizer, and I'm going to take the children away, and then I'm going to ask the people that have built that village to do whatever they need to do to fix it. So often what they do is they bring the identity back, bring the children back, and do whatever we need to do to heal it. And that's the future, because that's where we are now. How do we heal from what?
I lived in North Vancouver, 2 blocks away from the residential school, the convent, the Catholic school. I had no idea. None of us did, because nobody spoke about it. Speaking about it now, getting the word out, saying this happened, is the first step towards moving forward, because we have to own that. All of us have to own what happened so that we can all take the next step. And the Shíshálh Nation and all of the First Nations have always been very welcoming, very embracing of new ideas and new cultures and new ways of doing things. And that was sort of suppressed under the assimilation program, which we have all discovered assimilation doesn't work, no matter what culture you're applying it to. And we lost a huge resource in doing that, because there were all these people that could have been contributing to an economy, and we could all be building together. Now we can go forward and do that.
What's your sense of today's activities?
Today's activities, I believe, are going to help people that are in the room move out of the room.
Does that include you?
That includes me above
So you're not
all.
an observer, you're not media, you've come to heal something in you.
I think everybody here is here to heal something within themselves. I'm also here as the media, though.
So how valuable do you think this experience is today?
I think this experience is going to be very valuable. It's going to help us learn and be able to help out our actual community.
Yeah. So you're going to be here for the whole thing?
I am going to be here for the whole thing.
What are your expectations for yourself personally?
To learn.
To cleanse, to heal?
To heal, to learn about my ancestry, their ancestry, and to group them all together.
And yourself. Are you an observer, or are you prepared to heal too?
A bit of both. How about that?
So it's a rare opportunity to participate in something that's a privilege.
Well, this is my third workshop with Kathy Camilleri, and every single time I get a little piece more out of it. So I really enjoy her speaking and what she has to say, and it's a beautiful workshop, and I'm happy to be here.
So your role in this is really quite involved, and are you pleased with the way it's going so far?
Yeah, I think that as much as we can bring in the public sectors, people that we work with, like the RCMP, St. Mary's Hospital, the educational, the school districts, social services, the Ministry of Child and Family Services, bring them in and bring some education and awareness and some shared understanding about the history of residential schools. And not only in this territory of the Shíshálh Nation, but also in our country, in Canada, so that there's a shared understanding about the legacy that residential schools have left, in our communities, and that we're still dealing with the impacts today.
How personal is this to you?
Well, I am also an intergenerational survivor. I attended Saanich Indian Day School myself. Both my parents are residential school survivors. I bring a lot of compassion and heart to it for that fact alone, that I grew up with it and realized that both in my mother's community, my father's community, and my partner's community, which is the Shíshálh Nation, that there's a lot of work to be done.
And you're doing it?
Yes, I'm doing the utmost I can to assist with the process.
Today we'll focus on things that bring us together, things that create unity. The elders say we come together, we share food and water, and we share air, we share spirit. And when we have the courage to share spirit with one another, we're all strengthened. And so my hope for today is that we strengthen one another and that we make this canoe, just like it's already happening. After the announcement, people stand up and say, we support you. It's about us working together and creating unity in our world so that we can change it to make it a better place. Don't we need to change this world to make it a better place for our children and our grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren to come? So I do this work in the spirit of that canoe today. If you would please put the rock out on the deerskin, because the rock represents in our village, our relationship to the land. So if you would please take your rock and put it out on the deerskin. It's not what we have, it's what we give that makes us great people. So we live our values. Those values, want to say them with me? Love, respect, kindness, and generosity. Perfect. One more time. Love, respect, kindness, and generosity. Perfect.
Yeah, the conclusion of this workshop today was a very healing process for our community and the other community of the other side here. It was very successful today. There's a lot of speaking, a lot of people coming out sharing their views, a lot of survivors here coming out sharing what they went through in their life. This is just a starting point for us. We're trying to keep the story alive, and this is one of the workshops, and I hope many more
come in the near future.
So yes, we think that this is going to be one session of many where we're going to be sharing the experience with the local community of the experiences of our forefathers and the experiences of our people to date in terms of how we are dealing with the residential school. And we're hoping that we're going to feel that compassion from our local neighbors, our local governments, and be here to assist our people to overcome the residential school infection and help us to move on as a community.